Hello, dear friends, and welcome to our podcast dedicated to sight reading through the lens of the historically informed performance practice. My name is Darina. In today's episode, we explore a question that resonates deeply with every musician I have had the pleasure of interviewing. What inspires you to step onto stage, or simply what motivates you to go on stage? This question has sparked a range of reflections that I would like to share with you. Today, I'm speaking with three guests. The first one is the choir and orchestra conductor, Raphael Pichon.
It's not a motivation, it's a necessity. I'm not coming from a musician's family. I had this huge change that suddenly I was 9 or 10, I sang Bach, John Passion or Monteverdi Vespers. The shock was so huge that after that I was like a junkie. I wanted to understand, I wanted to analyze, I wanted to know more about how something like that is possible. It was pure, amazing school of curiosity. And as a junkie, these unique emotions, these really sensitive, even sometimes a bit mystical or physical or emotions, sensations. Now I need to go on stage to experiment that again. So there is no motivation. Of course, sometimes there is some fear or sensation of pressure or a lack of confidence, of self-confidence, or not being ready, but that's the essence of a musician's life. That's the price. But there is no question of motivation. It's a necessity.
Also, necessity, where it comes from, what is in the core of this necessity, like how does the process start?
I could just testimony that I first started with violin in this really technical approach, really individual approach. And I don't have any important memories of that time. The shock was the collective. The shock was the polyphony. The shock was this collective experience, this chemical reaction between a space, the stone, the acoustic, the voices, the bodies, the music, the story, the journey, the silence. So that's why I need to share that, because one more time, I'm sorry if it's a bit naive, but I really deeply believe in it. The world is so much more interesting and beautiful with this music, so much more honest with this music. It's like this music is able to tell us who we are. So it's 50% egoist and 50% generous, because you do it 50% for you as a necessity, but also you deeply feel the necessity to share it.
Yeah, that's a very cool answer, because, I asked many musicians and my colleagues the same question, and the answer is always so different. The second guest is a friend of mine and an outstanding keyboard player, Olga Pashchenko.
Well, I think motivation is actually a little bit overrated. This is the same question for me as why do you live?
Interesting. Could you highlight that?
If I could. There is not much to elaborate on that. It's really It's like we breathe. Why? Okay, we breathe because we need to live, but why we go on stage? Because we love to tell the story.
Where does this necessity come from?
Where does life come from?
Well, okay, but it's a bit a different field of discussion, no? With life, I mean, with breathing also, it's a physiological process. And playing, it's your decision every time to enter the stage and to play a concert.
It's quite simple. You love the music, obviously, and you want to share it. And then, I mean, you find it exciting. And I mean, if we go to the sort of down to earth explanation, which I'm trying to now crystallize, sort of. Yeah, I think it's the love to music, and it's the love to tell this story that is hidden in this music, and the wish to share this beauty.
And where does this wish come from to share? Why is it important for you?
Well, music is such a special art because it's if you have a painting, it hangs on the wall and you need to come and see it. With music, of course, now when you think about, but that's another question about CDs and recordings and live concerts, and let's not go into that. But even with the recording, I mean, you need someone to transmit it to you, unless you can do it yourself. And of course, we can go into that everything has been recorded already, but I think, anyways, a live concert for me is a different animal. And I think I'm very happy actually that people like to come to our concerts and that that we can share this moment together of appreciating and living through this beauty. And you're I mean, we play instruments, but we're also instrumental in this. And of course, being instrumental, you can never say that you hide yourself, because of course we put it through our bodies but also through our souls, so we are of course bringing the interpretation of this. That's how it works with music. Unless we have an artificial intelligence soon that works like ChatGPT, so you say, please play Hammer Clever Sonata like Horowitz, or then we'll talk again.
Yes. Thank you very much, Olga.
My last guest for today is the famous countertenor Reginald Mobley.
Well, I think it's very it's a very selfish motivation. I consider myself a person of faith, and I do in many ways think that it was part of God's plan for me to be here. But whether you believe it or not, me being here is a fluke. It is not normal. My career should not have happened in any way, based on where I come from, based on the average Black person from a low income, a poor Black neighborhood in the Deep South. And the thing is that I somehow found my way into it and have really grown as a person, as a human, by virtue of discovering art and music and literature and all these things. And when I say that it's a bit selfish, I think it's kind of sad and lonely that it has to be a fluke for Black Americans or Black Britons to find this thing, for people from Africa or South America or anywhere that isn't considered like the seat of Western classical music, I feel as though they should at least have a chance to know these things. They should be aware that what we do isn't just for a certain subset of civilization. Music is for everyone. Sound can't be owned. It can't be held. It is meant to be shared. So that is most of my motivation, is that I want to see more people who look like me, who look like you, to be able to freely pursue all levels in all areas. And they don't have to. But the point of the matter is that we should have the knowledge and we should have the choice. So it's something that I just kind of want to see more of everywhere, because I know how much gospel music means to me, but in a very, very similar way, I also know how much the music of Bach means to me and how that affects me. So it's something that I think is incredible, and I want to share, and I want everyone to have an opportunity to take part in what I've discovered throughout my life.
You'll find the full interviews with all those amazing personalities on various topics available on my channel and the REMA, the European Early Music Network website, where you can also discover the 4th season of the Early Music podcast that I have lovingly produced for them. If you're curious to delve deeper into the social study behind the series, or simply wish to connect, feel free to reach out to me on social media or through email. I would be delighted to continue this conversation. Thanks for joining. Bye.